Entrepreneurship is hard, so let's fix that and dive into our heroes' journeys. This is Taking Flight, an entrepreneur's journey, and I'm Sarah Torville. Join me as we delve deep into the passions, expertise, and experiences of those already in flight. This show is sponsored by EO Atlanta. Hello and welcome to our listeners, to our watchers of EO Atlanta Taking Flight podcast. This is going to be another incredible edition because the person we're speaking to today has so much experience in the land of entrepreneurism that I know everyone is going to learn something extremely interesting from this podcast. So let's get started. So first of all, I want to, of course, introduce our incredible guest. He is a respected entrepreneur and a community leader. He serves on the advisory council of Atlanta Hughes Spalding Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. He was honored in 2021 with the Dale Rodgins Humanitarian Award. He is the principal and founder of WM Events. I want to welcome William Fogler.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
Great to be here. It's awesome to be able to talk to you today, Sarah.
I am excited to talk to you too. So I know it's going to be a fun and incredibly energetic. Everything I felt from you, William, there's this energy. And I think it probably is because you're definitely in the right industry, but we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that shortly. So let's kick off with the ultimate question we always start with, which is, what did you get right when you took your first flight into your entrepreneurial journey?
Great. Yes. This is always a really exciting question to answer. The things that I believe that I really got right and that proved successful for me were I received some advice from a mentor or someone that I trusted, Carrie Shalansky. She was a PR publicist in Colorado that had been a client. And the first thing she said to me when I said, I'm going to go off and start my own business, was that start small, start with the people that you know, and take a grassroots approach. Because I was like, should I go and buy a billboard? Should I go and place an ad in a magazine? And she said, oh, no. Start with the people that you know and that you connect with, and start small and start grassroots. Okay. Start to spread the word from the bottom up and let people truly start to learn authentically what you're about, what you have to offer and share. And that if I started small, and that the circle would grow naturally. And that's definitely what I did by starting with the closest person that I know and offering to do small things for the people that I knew on a very small scale, and slowly but surely it grew.
And when did that start?
So I launched WM Events in 2004, and I moved to Atlanta and launched a business in a great big town that I was not totally familiar with. And I actually took a position within the industry for a very well-known event planner at the time while I got my business going.
That's very smart. Okay, so start with grassroots. I like that.
Yes.
So, and I'm sure like being, fiscally careful too by starting, those billboard ads can be expensive. And even though I think big brand awareness is great, but I suppose people need to experience what you can do for them.
Absolutely. I mean, I was like, oh, should I buy an ad in a magazine? Should I do this? Should I do that? And she's like, oh no, it is always so much better from a sustainability and from a fiscal, position to start small, because when you start trying to blast to the world and they don't even have any inkling of who you are or what you do, you'll definitely miss the mark.
Yeah. And as someone who is in PR like myself, like she is, I think she's probably coming from an angle of earned respect. Like PR is like earned media. You You can't pay for it. You have to earn it. So I think that kind of earned respect mindset she gave to you, I think seemed like it was some great advice.
Yeah, it was really great advice. And, I started with doing a free thing for a magazine launch, or, not that I think that doing free all the time was a great approach, but when possible, I made accommodations for helping those in need and getting paid a little bit along the way.
Yeah, makes sense. So has there been a significant co-pilot on this journey with you, William?
Sure. I mean, there have been a few significant co-pilots on the journey with me. In the beginning, I was lucky enough to have had a colleague who was in transition of her career, and she had been in the fashion industry for a number of years in New York City, helping some then small brands turn into really big brands. And she came on board. Her name is Anne Fanganello, and she had worked for big designers like Zac Posen and Nanette Lepore. And from an operations standpoint, she came on and really helped me with a lot of the logistical and administrative things that I knew very little about.
Right.
She authored some workbooks and helped me with some budget tracking. And, I knew all about the creative and the pretty side, but I knew very little about the administrative and number side. And she really helped me do that.
That's great.
But then, there have been a handful of other folks along the way, and most notably, someone that's still with me today. Her name is Lee Simpson. She is our director of sales and design. She came to me a week after graduating from Emory and said she had an interest in event planning. And it's been a match made for 15 years now.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Yes.
I love that. Okay, that's so important. So some good people around you to support you in the business. Like you say, you know how to do the pretty things.
Yes.
But the other things that we're just like, we didn't go to college, did we, to learn entrepreneurship? You can go to college now to learn entrepreneurship.
Absolutely.
Back then, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an experience, and I feel really fortunate to have had a family. My mother was, I'd like to say, an entrepreneur. She probably wouldn't have considered herself that. She kept homes for prominent families in Denver, where I was from, but she kept a schedule. She kept books. She had a ledger. I saw how she handled customer service. I even got to go along during the summer and help clean garages or weed gardens and do odd jobs, which then led into my own entrepreneurship as a kid, shoveling snow and mowing lawns and doing all of that sorts of odd jobs.
Yeah. She taught you that grassroots effort, I think it sounds like, as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and wonderfully, I don't think she knew what she was teaching me, or maybe she did, but I'm really happy to have had that lesson.
Yeah, that sounds really, really valuable. So is there anything, William, you've been kind of working on in the last 6 months maybe, or, that's been very challenging for the business, where you can maybe provide some advice to our listeners of how you overcame it, or maybe you're still overcoming it right now?
Sure. Well, in 2022, I purchased a building, and I had purchased plenty of homes and remodeled plenty of homes, but I'd never purchased a commercial property before, and dove headfirst into the world of commercial real estate. And I, when I took it on, I thought, oh, I've remodeled a house. I know all about remodeling and contractors and stuff. I didn't know anything. It feels like once I got into it.
Yeah.
But now, long story short, I have come out on the other end successfully, but it definitely was a world of hard knocks and lessons that, I feel better now for learning. But it was definitely a journey that I am happy to help anybody who's even thinking about purchasing commercial real estate and remodeling it and taking something like that on. But I feel like I'm on the other side now, and all the better for it.
So can you tell us what the learnings were?
Sure.
I'm sure there was lots of learnings, but
oh man, where do I begin? I think the first step is, again, going back to who you know. I chose to hire someone based on recommendations and that I didn't know very well, and was very eager to just get done. So I think first was patience and doing your homework, but also I had access to me plenty of friends and colleagues in the construction industry that I didn't think at the time I was worthy of the level of business that they were doing. They're off building stadiums and airports, and I didn't feel confident that they would take a project of my scale. In retrospect, they would have been more than willing to help save me the effort.
Right.
I found myself over designing and over complicating a lot of what I probably should have kept very simple.
Right.
And so starting simple, and there's always opportunity to grow into much larger. And really doing your homework about the financial side of it. I just dove head first. I was very fortunate that, I had a good financial base in terms of the bank and the SBA, but I feel like had I done a little bit more homework on how all of those things work within commercial real estate, it would have been a little less painful in the end. And fortunately I came out on top, but I think with a little bit more homework or relying on the resources and people around me, I probably would have fared a little better.
Yeah. And I mean, I saw the post, and I saw like David Afferriot reposted he was so proud of you. It's like, it looked like such an accomplishment, and obviously people don't understand the journey you went through to get there, but congratulations on launching.
Thank you. I mean, it's definitely one of the proudest moments of my life to have accomplished this.
Yeah. So I just wrote down some of the things you're talking about, the lessons. So it sounds like leveraging your network. While it seems obvious, I think you're right. You can get caught up with head trash and think, well, am I worthy? This is just one building and these people, but like leverage your network. It's like, so that sounds like the first major lesson.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Start simple, maybe like not trying to, eat the whole elephant at once. But again, we get excited, don't we? And it's especially in your line of business. I mean, you put on major events for companies like Delta Airlines. Probably felt you could just, but then I suppose it's now your own money you're using, and and also I don't know if it's like doing interior design in your home, but I feel like it takes time to figure out. You might do one thing and then you live in it for a bit, don't you? And then you want to do something different,
Yeah, and that was to your point. I know a lot about design, and I've been to a lot of beautiful places, and I really made a mission every time I travel. I try and visit a business similar to mine, and if they'll let me into their facility and learn and see all of the tips and tricks that they've done, and but you don't have to have it all at once.
No.
And I got very caught up, like, well, while we're here, we might as well tackle this too.
Yeah.
But before long, those change orders add up.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, easily done. But you came out on top, which is great.
Yes.
You learned a lot. And if you ever do it again, I don't know if there's going to be a WM Events second location, but yeah, I mean, you've got to tell me if that ever happens, William, but you're going to go in with much sharper knowledge. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes. Thank you.
Really, really helpful. So, so is there a, love to ask this question because I feel like I personally keep a track on all the books that our guests say that they love, and I'm gradually getting through it. So even for my benefit, hopefully for our listeners too, is there a favorite book that you feel is a testament to, you know, your success, or just something that has helped you through that you can share with us?
Sure. I mean, I'm a pretty big reader, and I rarely read cover to cover, and I'm always reading like 3 or 4 things at once, but you know, I'm reading snippets and parts and pieces of a lot of things at once.
Yeah.
And I'm also doing a lot of listening to podcasts. I really attribute podcasts to being a major source of knowledge, and that helped me along my journey. But most recently, a book called Radical Candor, and I should have brushed up on the author, but the whole premise is that it is so much better to approach things head on with the truth and not beat around the bush, and develop a policy and an environment that welcomes radical candor with your team. Has been very worthwhile. But if I look at podcasts, there was a podcast that I listened to in the beginning of my journey that was called Profit First. I recently went back to refer it to someone else, and I don't think it's around anymore, but it was really about, you know, in your business model, taking your profit first and reserving your payday so that, you know, you were sure to always be paying yourself. And then another one that really helped me understand the journey about setting intention and manifesting your success and your dreams was The Conscious Millionaire. And it is still in production. I don't listen to it anymore, but it really was about being a conscious millionaire, manifesting your dreams, making lists and goals, and setting the intention for success on a daily basis. And it was really the first taste of that mindset for me.
Thank you to our strategic alliance partners for their support to our EO Atlanta community. Check these partners out as they can help you soar further into your entrepreneurial journey. Thank you to Chase, Belay, Trainial, EOS and Sperity, American Express, CEO Coaching International, Ashford Advisors, Clifton Larson Allen, and Homwick Burke. Thank you so much. Okay, so I've just found the authors of some of these. I'm just going to read it out just to be able to write it down. So Radical Candor, I've not heard of that one, so I'm going to check it out. That's by Kim Scott.
Yes.
Yeah, Profit First. I've read that one. I really do like, and I need to think about this that methodology too. Mike, I don't know if I can pronounce his name right. Mike Michalowicz. And then Conscious Millionaire. I'm just looking at that one right now.
I want to say his name is JB Crum or something similar.
JB Crum. Well done. Yes. Yep. Okay. Need to look at that one as well. So some 3 really good books to recommend. And you're right, podcasts. I mean, gosh, they are. I'm the same as you. It's like, you can just learn so much, can't you?
You can learn so much, and you can take bits and pieces on the go. We all spend so much time on the go, whether we are in transport on a plane or in a car. But it's just such an easy way to get a lot of information.
I agree with you. I love that very much. So what excites you about the future, William?
You know, what excites me most about the future is that it is boundless. And, that we have the ability to do and be and go anywhere we want. And that, there is just so much opportunity. And for me, within what I've created here at WM Events and within our new headquarters, we've just sort of scraped the tip of the iceberg here. And there's just so much opportunity. And, from the day we moved in, it just like the world opened up in a way that I never thought was possible. The day we moved in, we got a floral order that we had 50,000 stems of roses in our warehouse. And that was like the largest project in roses that we had ever accomplished. And that was like on day one.
Wow.
And I can just think that if that happened on day one, what is going to happen on day 1,000,
Yeah.
And it's just, there is so much opportunity and growth potential that we have within these walls to do amazing things and diversify in ways that I haven't even thought of yet. But, there's opportunity almost on a daily basis. So I think that's the most exciting thing to me is not knowing and knowing that opportunity is just like has no boundaries.
That's great. I do agree with you. It's funny because I have a friend who is an entrepreneur, and she's just opened an incredible new space for herself. And that same thing, it's like, I think when you get your own space, I imagine there's this level of like, well, people see you differently, first of all. They definitely, they view you differently. They see that this is what you've taken on. This is a commitment that you believe in. And I think your employees, your team also step up and see it differently. And I think, that generates just that itself, and your team going out with their shoulders back and proud of what they're doing just generates more opportunity all the time.
Absolutely. And then, you mentioned David Afaria in the post on LinkedIn. I mean, when your peers recognize you in a whole different way, I mean, I had a little extra pep in my step after that. It was, and what's so beautiful after that is now I'm getting calls from entrepreneurs. Almost once a week, I get a call from an entrepreneur that is just setting out or that has been in business for a little while and is looking for advice or mentorship or just wants to come over and meet. And I mean, it is so rewarding to have that sort of recognition. And also for me, knowing that I can give back in that way is pretty amazing.
You definitely can. You definitely can.
Yeah.
So, William, tell me about you. Like, who are you?
Oh boy.
Big question.
Yeah, that's a pretty deep question.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm a guy who a lot of my identity is wrapped up in this business at WM Events. I've been doing it for 21 years, and I absolutely love what I do. And I think the word passion gets thrown around quite a bit, but I am wholeheartedly passionate and in love with what I do here in creating amazing experiences for people. But personally, I'm an avid gardener. I love my home and garden. In summertime, I spend a lot of time in the yard and around the pool with the dog, and love propagating and growing and tending to my plants and garden. I love to travel, and I don't get to do as much of it, but now that this project is underway, I feel like I've got a little bit more freedom to go and get back to seeing the world.
Yeah.
I'm quite a family and friend guy. I've got pretty robust friend group and family that I love, and I love to spend lots of time with. And I have many philanthropic endeavors that I, some that are public and some that aren't, that I just really, really love to give back to our community and help those that are in need, and, and mentorship, as I was just talking about. I think that's who I am.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for sharing that. It's really beautiful to hear. So, so tell me about, so you talked about WM events, and I'm excited. I want to learn more. So tell me about, like, what do you think the problem you solve, and what impact has W events made? I mean, because and also I want to understand it. You talk about you like to create experiences, which I love. And I think you've mentioned individuals, and then there's businesses. So can you kind of give me, give me that oversight of really what WM Events does?
Sure. So WM Events is a full service event house, and we use house almost like an atelier or a fashion house. We are all encompassing of all things events. We plan, design, and consult on all things events. But really, the thing that we provide most is we help people gather better. We help them have amazing experiences and come together to socialize in a way that makes great connections and great relationships. We, have such a wonderful reputation for our creativity of creating these great experiences within brands, and telling the story of taking a great brand and telling it through the lens of those corporations' values and aesthetics, and creating experiences that are relevant to whatever brand or person their personality prescribes.
Right. That's it. Yeah. So I can't help but ask, I know it's Delta Airlines 100-year anniversary this year. Yes. And you are responsible for the event, one of the events, maybe.
Well, I wish I was responsible for all of them, but we can take credit for a handful of them. We had the pleasure of being a part of their sales kickoff this year, Delta Lead. It's an event for 4,000 people. And with an event that size, there are many partners. And our role really was the experience and the aesthetics of the event. And so they have a full meeting, planning, and production team that handle everything that happens on stage in the run of show. But it is hosted at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And so for all of their meals and for all of the social that happened around the conference, their sales kickoff, we were responsible for all of the aesthetics and experience as it related to that. And that included over 400 tables, seating for their lunches and breakfast, and along with that, the linens, the centerpieces, the traffic flow, and how all of those tables would be arranged throughout the stadium.
Right.
And then there's social events that happen on the field, and the experiences that those guests enjoyed, including a fashion show, AI photo booths, amazing selfie photo booths, and lounge groupings that all were indicative of their 100th year celebration and the branding that they have set forth for that significant time for them.
Amazing. Wow. To be included in that and be a partner they trust and and respect and you work with is, well, congratulations to you.
Yeah, thank you. And we have a couple of more in the pipeline with them for the year. We're working on an employee event at the Flight Museum, which is coming up in the next month. So yes, it is quite an honor to be a part of something so significant for such an icon of our city.
Yeah, definitely. So I'd love to ask you, William, I know you've been a part of EO for a while. How has EO been impactful to you?
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about this, knowing we were going to have this interview. And, my journey in EO is a little bit different than most. I was vetted about 5 years ago as a member. And at the time I chose coaching instead. And don't look back on that decision at all, because that coaching that I sought at that time was invaluable. But then after meeting Rhonda, ran into Rhonda, and we were friends through some other ways, she suggested that I come on as an SAP. And she says, well, if you're not quite sure about a full membership at this point, perhaps, being an SAP will get you toe in the water and you can see what it's all about. And after about a year, she was right. I felt that a full membership was probably the more appropriate route for me.
Yeah.
And, in retrospect, for me, EO has been so valuable in the relationships that I have formed and the experience shares that those relationships have impacted me so much. From the very first event as a member that I went to, I was having some problems with the construction, and a member gave me a piece of, shared his experience in construction, and I told him what was going on with me, and he shared a similar experience he had and the approach he took to it. And the very next day I went and tackled it, and unbelievably, it was exactly what was going on with me. We had the exact same challenge, and the approach he took is what I took, and it was exactly what I needed. And I knew at that point that this organization was going to be really valuable. And, it's been like that along the way. Another colleague in EO recommended a program, an amazing accelerator program with Ernst & Young, EY. And I applied and got in, and it has led me down another road that I'm just back from a summit put on by EY, where there was another EO member in this summit with me. He was in my first cohort.
Oh, interesting.
And so it came full circle for me. And it's been a very enriching and worthwhile organization to be a part of.
That's great. And just some clarity, William, when you say you came in initially as coaching, what do you mean exactly? You came in as a coach?
Or? No. When I came into EO, I was vetted as a full member.
Yeah.
And I went to a couple of member events. But at that time, I thought my dollars would be better spent going into coaching and using a coach versus paying my membership at EO.
Got it.
I hired a coach, and that experience was very valuable and just what I needed at the time.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. But like with all things, timing is everything. And I joined at the right time and was able to recognize the value at the time I needed it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for sharing all this, William. It's been wonderful. I would love to ask, how can people connect with you?
Sure. Well, they're always welcome to visit wmevents.com and learn more about my company but definitely through LinkedIn at William Fogler, and always, I'm always open to getting an email, and which you can find the link on my website.
Yeah, very good, William. Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure to hear your story. Thank you for sharing, the challenges you went through and how you overcame them. And I'm just really happy for you that things are moving in a good direction, and wish you all the best of luck. So thank you to our listeners. Thank you to our viewers for joining us. I hope you found this to be very insightful. Please share it with your friends and family if you think you can help anybody else. But we appreciate our community here. I appreciate you, William. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Sarah, and thanks for having me today.
You are welcome.